So friends, last lecture we finished our phase 3. No, not we initiated phase 3 by finishing phase 2. Phase 3 is talking about expressly disallowed expenses in PGBP chapter. The first expense that we had discussed here is advertisement with political party under section 37 2B. Second is section 38, proportionate deduction whenever expenses are proportionately incurred for personal purpose and proportionately for business purpose under section 30, 31 and 32. Then business proportion shall be allowed and personal proportion shall be disallowed. And one example also we have done on that. Then section 40, as I told you, this is one of the important section of ICAI from ICAI point of view, ICAI exam point of view. So please remember, usually section 40 comes in exam in some other form. So either in PGBP form or true and false form or MCQ form, something from section 40 will come for sure. The first item which is disallowed in section 40 subsection A or section 40 clause A is income tax. Second item that we have discussed here is any payment of expenditure without deducting TDS, and payment if made is to resident, then it will be disallowed to the extent of 30% under section 40A 1A. And if payment is made to non-resident, then it will be 100% disallowed under section 40A. This clause is important and you must remember this clause. Then I told you this TDS payment disallowance, okay, is not permanent in nature. If you make your default good in future, then the disallowed amount shall be re-allowed to the assessee except salary outside India. If you are not deducting TDS on salary or salary that you paid outside India or to non-resident, then it will become permanent disallowance. Even if in future if you pay TDS on that particular amount, still they are not going to give you any deduction. Okay, that's what I told you. Next item I told you, payment of non-monetary benefit, payment of tax on non-monetary benefit paid by employer shall be disallowed. Logic I told you. Okay. The next section was about section 40A subsection 2, payment made to relative. In payment made to relative, I told you, who is that?
CS cut कर
Cut, cut. Huh. Only excess is disallowed. Now you please understand here. Okay. If payment made to relative to the extent of, say for example, 10 lakh rupees, whereas fair market value was 3 lakh, then only 7 lakh rupees will be disallowed, not the whole amount, because in section 48 they disallow only excess amount, not the full amount. And there I was telling you meaning of relative that you should remember, because this is the means definition of relative under section 48(2). Meaning of relative is different in different chapter. In IFRS meaning of relative is different, and in PGBP chapter meaning of relative is different. So this is the meaning of relative under section 48(2). Section 48(3) was going on, and then we had to stop the lecture unfortunately. So section 48(3), payment exceeding 10,000 rupees, and this provision has we have witnessed multiple times in PGBP chapter. So please understand, any payment up to 10,000 shall be allowed. Any payment up to 10,000 shall be allowed, be it any mode. It can be cash, it can be bearer check, it can be cross check, it can be account pay check, it can be any mode up to 10,000. But the moment payment exceeds 10,000 to a person in a day, payment exceeding 10,000 to a person in a day, then it must be by 4 notified modes. And those 4 modes are account pay check, account pay draft, ECS, and other notified electronic transactions. Okay. If it is by those mode, then any amount is allowed. If it is not by those mode, then the fully disallowed and full aggregate amount will be disallowed. To explain this, I told you this particular scenarios. Okay. If a payment of 10,000 made to different person on the same day, payment made to two different person on the same day, those payments will be allowed. Payment made to same person on the different dates, payment made to same person on different date shall be allowed, no problem. But payment made to same person on the same day will be disallowed if aggregate amount is exceeding rupees 10,000, and when it is disallowed, the whole amount will be disallowed. These are the 3 situations that I told you. Now allow me to continue my particular theories here. I hope you people have written these notes. I messaged you on WhatsApp group yesterday that please write down the notes. Look at one judgment. Once one assessee had incurred, one assessee has incurred expenditure in financial year or in a previous year 18-19. Here the expense was accrue. Okay. Here the expense was accrue, and because assessee was following mercantile system, he had taken deduction as well. Okay. He had taken deduction. On accrual basis, he had taken deduction. And what happened in the year 1920, in the previous year 1920, that amount was, say for example, 38,000. Here he paid in cash. ठीक है ना? Rupees 38,000 he paid in cash. You tell me, in year 1920, can we attract disallowance under section 40A3? Can we attract disallowance under section 40A3? Can you disallow these expenses? Come on, tell me. क्या आप इस expense को 38,000 को disallow कर सकते हो? It is accrued in 18-19 and you are paying in 19-20. Can you disallow this expense in 19-20? I'm just simply asking you this question. Tell me yes or no.
Yes.
Sure.
Yes.
सर मुझे आवाज नहीं आ रही है, मैं रीजॉइन करती हूँ. ओके ओके साइली, नो प्रॉब्लम. बाकी लोग अपना आंसर दो, कोई आंसर नहीं दे रहा है मुझे. Simple situation I'm asking. You have incurred expenses in 18-19 and on accrual basis you have claimed deduction as well. And because those expenses were outstanding, you make a payment in cash in 19-20. Can we attract disallowance under this section 40A3? That's what Vijay I did just now. Can you disallow the expenses?
No. Yes.
Yes, no, no, yes. So answer was no. Why? Okay, तुम लोग yes बोल रहे हो, मेरा answer was no. Why? So look at the argument of assessee. He said, this income tax can disallow something which is debited to P&L account. Okay. In 1920, you can apply disallowance only on items which are debited to P&L account. This item of 38,000 is not debited to profit and loss account of 1920. See, you can deny my permission only if I take your permission. Are you getting this? You can deny my deduction only when I'm claiming the deduction. And in 1920, I'm not claiming any deduction. I claimed deduction in the year 18-19 on accrual basis, and that year I did not make any default, so that year it was allowed. So expenditure, once it is allowed in some other previous year, you cannot disallow in the current year. This was the argument of the assessee, which is accepted by the court. Do you understand this? खर्चा किसी और साल में accrual basis पे allowed हो गया, next year में आपने उसको cash में payment किया, you cannot disallow it on the simple fact that I'm not claiming deduction in this particular year. This is the argument put forward by the assessee and accepted by the High Court. Am I clear with this much? Hello? Are you guys able to follow it? Hey, have you understood this? Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes.
sir.
But then what will happen, if I tell you this, then what will you do to use your black money, to use your cash? What will you do? You will pass all the entries on accrual basis in the month of Feb and March, okay, lakhs of rupees, and that you will pay in the month of April in the cash, and section 40A3 cannot disallow it just because these are the two different years. Accrual in some different year and payment in some different year. This manipulation was possible. Therefore, income tax have introduced section 40A 3A, another section, section 40A 3A, and as per this new section now, even if expenses accrue in some other year and paid in some other year, still disallowance can be attracted. So this is not happening in section 40A3. This is happening in new section 40A3A, which overrides the earlier judgment of High Court. Okay. So look at this. Where is that paragraph? I'm reading that paragraph. Section 40A3A. Okay. If any expenditure was allowed on accrual basis in any previous year, need not to be last previous year, in any previous year, and subsequently such expenses are paid in cash, then deduction claimed earlier shall be disallowed in current year. Possible. Now it is possible. Am I clear with this paragraph? Do you understand the latest law? Yes, no, no, yes. At least reply me in this chat box.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, okay. Chalo, next. Now I would like to share one small incidence of my articleship with you guys. When I was in articleship, I was a bad article. I was not a good article. First of all, I should accept that. Okay. And when I started my articleship, it was my experience was in banking sector. So I always used to work in a banking field. But suddenly what happened, once all the articles of our firm, genuine articles, like articles who wanted to become chartered accountant, dedicated, hardworking, those type of articles. I was not that kind. My kind was little different. I was a banker. I was interested more into banking. I was never interested into taxation, indirect taxation, filing of return, accounting, auditing. No, because my principal was not interested into those activities. So jaisa principal, vaisa article. So my principal was interested into banking. Obviously, I also got interested I also developed interest into corporate banking and all. But unfortunately, on one particular audit, many of our CA interns were on examination holiday. So only 2 or 3 were left. And boss told me also now this time, because interns are very less. So I advise you also to go on audit. It was a site audit in Solapur. So from Mumbai, we had to go to Solapur, full night journey. And then it was assignment of almost 8 to 10 days. So for me, it was like a picnic kind of situation, because everybody knew I don't know much about audit, so I can't handle the audit assignments. So they are taking me just as a supporting staff. So I went there. Day 1, I did not do much work. Day 2, I did not do much work. Day 3, sir came. My boss came. Principal came on site, and then he was asking everyone, "What have you done? What have you done? What have you done?" Okay. She's taking bags. Look at that. Look at the same shameless people.
बोलो जाके ना
बोला ना इनको, अंकल को, नीलेश वो देख ना, वो अपनी बैग्स वगैरह लेके जा रही है, वो उसको बोलो ना मत लेके जा.
है कौन है
somebody stealing. बोल जल्दी बोल, जा रही है, भाग रही
बाकी
हो.
बाकी फटाफट जा रही है आवाज दो
यार हमें दिखाओ.
तुम लोग भी देखोगे, क्या देखोगे? somebody stealing our bags. दिख रहा है तुमको? कंस्ट्रक्शन साइट, कंस्ट्रक्शन साइट ओपन है ना रे. तो आज हम लोग बहुत मतलब आज नेटवर्क नहीं मिल रहा था, therefore we came here. So this is how the people in village they operate. They take just they just take simply. Okay, they take things. They don't ask.
पूरा रखा ना उसने
What can we do? This happens. We don't know what all things they have taken. Just today, because we are here, we can see this. Okay. So where was I? So I was on articleship experience. So day 3, everybody told me now today sir has come. He will ask at evening, what have you done? So today, Ram, you should work. So they give me cash vouching. Now people who have done articleship, okay, you will understand this. And students who have studied Audit, they should understand this cash vouching. There is something called cash vouching. Vouching of cash expenditure done by the organization. And because we were doing audit of infrastructure company, when they say cash vouchers, means cash voucher files will be like 100, 150 for one particular month. 100 file, 150 files, and all articles used to go there and tick, 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 tick. Okay, all the expenses they will check, and they have to just tick on certain numbers. So I also started that doing nothing, and that time they told me any expenditure. Now that time limit was 20,000. When I am telling about my articles experience in this section, limit of cash was 20,000. But let's modify that story. Any expenditure more than 10,000 RAM, you remove that voucher. This is what they told me, my seniors. Any expenditure more than 10,000, you should remove that voucher and keep aside, because that's a query. This should not happen. They did not tell me section of income tax, this happens in income tax, logic, nothing. Any voucher, very simple instruction. Any voucher more than 10,000, you should remove. This was the instruction. I said, okay. So file 1, I got 15, 18 vouchers. File 2, I got 15, 20 vouchers. Every file, I got some vouchers. Okay. Every file, I got some vouchers, and I kept it out aside. And other articles were not getting those many query. And as they told me, at the end of the day, my boss came and he started with the senior most article who was in CA final. That time I was just a CPT pass student. Okay. So he started with the senior most article, and he insulted him like anything. Like anything means anything, because that time, what should I say? He was most experienced, about to write CA final exam, and his queries were not acceptable. And therefore, boss shouted at him like anything. And when boss was shouting at him, other articles were afraid to show their queries and their concerns to boss. So they started, filtering their own queries. Okay. And later on, what has happened, descending order, senior, then second most senior, then third most senior, and I was a junior. I should not call myself senior. My turn was the last 10. Okay. And I kept almost this much bundle. Can you see this hand? I took almost this much bundle of queries to my boss. I said, these are the payments more than 10,000, and you know this is disallowed. And because this is disallowed, I kept it aside. This is what I told him. So he patiently, very patiently, he saw each voucher, okay, kept aside. He saw each voucher kept aside. He saw each voucher. He did not say anything to me. You won't get this. I was feeling very much happy inside. Okay. I thought today I'm going to become an audit manager, because I'm the, that feeling, I'm the auditor, man. I got this many queries. Okay. These many queries, and boss did not say anything. Okay. Anything means anything. And he shouted at everyone, but not at me. So I thought my queries are perfect. Okay. And today he's going to appreciate me, but he did not say anything. He did not say anything. Because that I was the last one. He said, Ram, from wherever you have taken this particular voucher, keep it there back. Okay. This is the only sentence he said. Ram, from wherever you have taken these vouchers, keep it back to those particular file. And he just left. Okay. Now I'll tell you two types of anger that people are having. Okay. In offices, this happens. There will be two types of anger. Type 1 anger. Okay. Type 1 anger, where your senior will be, very angry on you, and he will shout at you. They will abuse you. They'll insult you. They'll humiliate you. Okay. That is type 1 anger. And the type 2 anger is this. Okay. The type 2 anger I felt on that day. Type 2 anger is very simply, okay, your boss will say nothing. He will just keep quiet. Your boss will say nothing. He will just keep quiet. Okay. Nothing is nothing. So that's what my boss did. He was angry beyond acceptance level, because my queries were dumbest. Okay. And not one and not two, this much big file, and politely he saw all those vouchers, expecting at least one out of them is a genuine one, but none out of them was genuine. Okay. But every voucher was more than 10,000. This is what I'm trying to tell you. So what happened, that was, sir will not come to audit site for every day. Obviously, audit was of 10 days. And he came there only for 1 day visit. So he took all of us to one of the best restaurant in the town. And that restaurant is on the terrace of the hotel. We call it rooftop restaurant in Solapur. It's very famous. and everybody was in a good mood. It's night now. Everybody forgotten what has happened in the office. My boss was like that guy. Okay, if something has happened in the office, it will stay in the office. When he takes us, take all of us on dinner and all, there he will not bring up any nonsense issue that has happened in the office. There he will behave like a friend, brother, motivator. He'll talk. So intentionally, I sat next to him and I just quietly, very politely, I asked, "Sir, sorry, whatever happened in the office today. I did not mean to, disturb you and all, disappoint you. Something like this. I apologize for my mistake." And then I asked him, "Sir, but what was what was the wrong thing I did? I did not understand my mistake. You shouted at everyone, but you did not shouted at me. So what should I do? Come on, tell me. Something I must have done." So that day he took a tissue paper because we had already placed the order, and he took a tissue paper from the that table, hotel table, and he took his pen and he draw the chart of section 48.3. On that day he draw this particular chart and he told me this thing. Okay, please understand, he told me this thing: "Ram, any payment up to 10,000 rupees, I'm customizing according to latest law. Any payment up to 10,000, there is no barricade. You can pay it by cash, you can pay it by bank, any mode. But any payment more than 10,000 must be paid by banking mode, not in the cash mode, and therefore it is disallowed." Then I said, "Yes, no, then sir, every voucher that I took, it was having amount 32,000, 33,000, 28,000, 29,000, 31,000. So these were the amounts, and why did you then kept it there?" So he said, "Ram, in section 48.3, there is an additional paragraph where they say, for GTA, goods transport agent." Now, people who have studied GST law, they are very much aware that GTAs are having special provisions in GST law and they are having special provisions in Income Tax Act as well. Section 48. So what there is one more paragraph, special provision for GTA. Payment made to goods transporter is, this is in excess, this is not in, this is in excess of rupees 35,000 is disallowed. So for GTA, there is a special provision in section 48.3. Please remember, and all the vouchers that I had brought out on that day was about GTAs only, because it was an infrastructure company. They used to make a lot of payments to transporters, transportation of steels, transportation of cement, transportation of sand, transportation of bricks. So a lot of payments every day. There will be multiple GTAs which will be delivering the goods, and they must have paid in cash. So this is the special provision. What I'm trying to tell you with my story here is this: do not fall into a situation where you will be very much embarrassed and your boss will be very much disappointed just because you know the half law. Section 48.3, everybody knows 10,000 is the limit, but only experts like cost accountant, chartered accountant, company secretary, only experts knows that for GTA there is one more limit of 35,000. Okay, so this paragraph denotes that particular thing. Learn from my mistake. Don't do shitty mistakes in your own practice world. When you also go in accounting field in future, you will also say, नहीं 12,000 के ऊपर का payment नहीं करने का cash में. That guy is a GTA. For GTA, we are having 35,000 का limit. Am I clear? Bolo.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now the next note is about exception. These exceptionals are the genuine situation. They are little outdated now. Imagine that you don't have banking the way we are having today. Imagine the banking system that we used to use 10 years back, 15 years back, where we did not have much of ATMs, much of branches. There was no Google Pay, Paytm and all. They are talking about that time. Okay. So these are the genuine situation where one particular assessee, please understand. 1 minute. तुम लोगों ने मुझे ऐसी जगह पे लाके छोड़ दिया ना, इतना डिस्टर्बेंस हो रहा है यहाँ पे. ट्रैक्टर जा रहा है, फार्मर्स बात कर रहे हैं. पब्लिक चोरी कर रही है. साले उनका लाइन है. My article is saying there are two farmers talking to each other here. He's saying we should throw stones on them. Technically, this is the land owned by them. Okay. So these are the genuine situation where assessee will make payment in cash, but it should not be disallowed. Please understand, it should not be disallowed. It should be allowed. So these are the exception to section 40A3. So what are these exceptions? So I call it ATGG, ATBB, GGBBEE. मेरा वाला भी ऊपर करना. Thanks. Okay. Exception to section 40A3. So according to rule 6DD, these are the income tax rules. There are 6 major exceptions that I'm going to teach you here. There are already 9 or 10 exceptions, but out of 9, 10, I'm going to teach you 6 major one. Okay. GGBBEE. GGBBEE are the exceptions. This is the abbreviation that we have created to remember this exception. First, G stands for payment made for goods. Now you tell me, if I purchase tomatoes, if I'm a Kisan Ketchup and if I'm purchasing tomatoes from farmers, by paying account pay check or by paying cash, is it a white and black? Is there any difference between white and black in farmer's hand? Whether farmer's income is taxable? Does it make any difference
No,
to
it's
farmer?
exempt.
It is completely exempt, isn't it? And income tax should not be worried about it, whether I'm making payment in cash or check. You tell me, right now also I'm in a farm kind of area. Do you think people here understand online banking, net banking, Google Pay, DD, account pay check? Do you understand that they will accept this and they will give me tomatoes?
No.
No.
No. Farmers understand only one language, only one currency, and that is cash. Give us cash and then take our goods. And therefore, all the farm related product like agriculture produce, forest product, fish product, poultry product, dairy products, animal products, and product made without aid of power. When I say without aid of power, that means handloom. We are talking about handloom. Product made without aid of power, that means we are talking about handlooms. So if you purchase this product, whether you purchase in cash or bank, government is not concerned about it. You tell me, second question to you guys is this: you are having black money or you are having cash with you. Will you pay your GST liability by using cash? You are having GST liability of 2 lakh and you are having 2 lakh rupees cash in your home. Will you pay it by using your cash? Will you pay 2 lakh rupees cash to tomorrow if Vijay Mallya says, I'm asking another question or another situation. Tomorrow if Vijay Mallya says, he has to pay around 600 crore service tax liability. If Vijay Mallya says, okay, I'll pay, but I will pay in cash. What do you think? Government of India will accept it or not? Vijay Mallya is saying 600 crore I'll pay in cash.
No.
Government will not accept it. Government say, नहीं, हमको चेक ही चाहिए. वो कैश नहीं चाहिए. वो कैश थोड़े ना क्या लेते हैं. 43 में allowed नहीं है सर वो कैश लेना. Do you think government will say like this? तुम लोग no बोल रहे हो.
No.
गवर्नमेंट पैसे लेगा कि उसे सेक्शन बताएगा?
पैसे लेगा.
पैसे लेगा भाई. तो उन्होंने वही बोला, if you are making payment to government, if you are dumb, see, no dumb assessee will pay cash payment to government, because government agencies or banking agencies will ask questions to him. So and if you are ready to pay, government is ready to take. They are saying if you are making payment to government, banks or financial institution, this particular limit will not apply. We will take your money, no problem. Okay, no problem under section 40A3, because we are happy that you are making payment. Okay. Next, there are certain locations where we don't have banking facilities, and if you have to make payment to those locations, hilly location, if you have gone to Himalaya, you will understand for 200 kilometers in a row, there is no bank, there is no town. Okay, and still people are doing some kind of agriculture activities there. Don't assume about Mumbai, Pune, and Cochin and Bangalore, where we are having a lot of banks. Think about rural areas where they don't have banking facilities. What will they do if you make payment by check? What will they do with check? So in those areas you must make payment by cash. Okay, so look at the next point. Payment required to be made, no, not next point. Payment required to be made in a place where there are no banking facilities. So that falls under exception. That means 10,000 limit is not applicable. I hope you are getting this. 10,000 rupees limit is not applicable under this particular circumstances. Third one, okay, payment required to be made on a day when banks are closed. The famous days are, this comes in examination, this comes in examination. Payment made on Gandhi Jayanti, payment made on 15th August, payment made on 26th January. These are the national holidays. And if you make payment on national holidays, then banks are not operative on those days. So they are saying even it is allowed. So whenever they make payment in cash exceeding rupees 10,000, please look at the date also before disallowing it. People don't look at the date, they look at the amount and they directly disallow it without thinking much. You must look at the date. If the date is something which falls on national holiday, and the famous national holidays are this: 26 Jan, 15 August and 2nd October. So on this date you should not disallow the expenses. Am I clear? Am I clear about point number 3 and point number 4?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes,
first
yes.
2G were payment for goods, payment to government, payment to a place where no banking facilities available, payment on non-banking days. Okay. Next two are talking about employee. You know that we pay a lot of benefit to the employee on retirement day, gratuity, or some ex gratia payment. Just आज employee जा रहा है, bye-bye, tata bye-bye करना है. Terminal benefits, and for terminal benefit amount is 50,000. So you must remember now there are 3 limits under section 40A3. By this time you should know there are 3 limits under section 40A3. Limit 1 by default 10,000. For GTA limit is 35,000. And for terminal benefits of employee, not salary, for terminal benefits of employee. Terminal benefit means, I hope you understand, retirement benefits of employee. For that we are having limit of 50,000 under rule 6DD of income tax rule. And if some employee is working in a place where he doesn't have his bank account, so employee is working on a project site, employee is working on some kind of assignment where he is going to stay for more than 15 days, and he doesn't have banking facility there, he doesn't have bank account there, then employer should make payment in cash. Okay, so they are saying if any salary paid to employee who is posted to a place other than his normal place of duty for at least 15 days where he has no bank account. तो 2 एम्प्लॉय के एक्सेप्शन समझ में आए आप लोगों को? 2G, 2B और 2E. Have you understood this much?
Yes.
Let me ask you one question. What about credit card and debit card? Credit card and debit card internationally is known as plastic currency because the cards are made with plastic, I guess. They call it plastic currency. What about this? Acceptable or not acceptable?
Not acceptable.
38,000 paid in cash by using credit card. Allowed or disallowed? Look at the section and tell me. You need to tell me legal language. 35,000 made in credit card by using credit card. Allowed or disallowed? Allowed or disallowed? Tell me.
Disallowed.
Disallowed, because section has allowed only four methods: account pay check, account pay draft, ECS, and other notified electronic transfers. Debit card and credit card is not covered here, but it is covered under rule 6DD. Please understand, I have not taught you whole rule 6DD. Okay, or for me, please write down one more item here. Point number 7: payment made by using debit card and credit card. Payment made by using debit card and credit